Boots and pants and 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 hey! Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of Maximum Freedom with Mike. Yes, sir, that's right, I'm a nutball. Coming at you from the dungeon, my basement studio office here in good old Ohio. Boots and pants, people. Boots and pants. Who hasn't seen that commercial? I mean, in all honesty, that dang pig from the Geico commercials, I think it's Geico, drives me freaking crazy. I usually just want to put my head through a wall when I see him. But the boots and pants one, man, that one is awesome. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and hey! Alright. Enough of that shenanigans. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing my story in part 1. If you're just coming across this one, make sure you check out part 1 because, hey, it's my story. And if I'm going to host the show, which I am, my name's Mike, by the way, you might want to get to know me a little bit. Especially if you're going to listen, and I want you to listen. Oh, yeah. Alright, so in part 2, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some stuff that's going on in the news. Now, I'm one of those people that for a while here has tried to avoid the news because it just pisses me off a lot. But since regaining some fresh perspective and regaining some momentum in my desire to convert to libertarianism and live out those principles, I think I need to fight for those principles. And in order to fight, I need to be educated. So that means keeping up with the news, seeing what's going on. Got a lot of interesting stuff going on today, all right? One of the things that I find to be incredibly interesting that's happening right now is the fact that Rand Paul is suing Barack Obama and others in the administration over all this massive surveillance program bull junk that the NSA has been pulling on everybody for who knows how long. Okay? This story is incredibly interesting. Check this out. I'm reading this from theblaze.com. Great place to get news. Following through on previous threats, Senator Rand Paul will sue President Barack Obama and others in his administration over the National Security Agency's massive surveillance programs. Paul plans to file the lawsuit on Wednesday morning, that's today, at the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. He will reportedly be joined by FreedomWorks President Matt Kibbe? I don't know. FreedomWorks is a great organization, though. If you can, check out their websites. I think it's either freedomworks.com or freedomworks.org. I get confused. I can't remember. One of those two. Type them in. You'll find it. A lot of great information, a lot of great resources. It's a good way to get involved. And former Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, in addition to Obama, Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, Director of the National Security Agency Keith Alexander, and FBI Director James Comey will also be listed as defendants in this class action lawsuit. I am filing a lawsuit against Barack Obama because he has publicly refused to stop a clear and continuing violation of the Fourth Amendment, Paul said in a statement. The Bill of Rights protects all citizens from general warrants. I expect this case to go all the way to the Supreme Court, and I predict the American people will win. A press conference featuring Paul, Kibbe, and Cuccinelli is planned after the lawsuit is filed. I just think that this is awesome. Fantastic. Rand Paul, for those of you who don't know, is the son of Ron Paul, who is like one of the most awesomest libertarian heroes ever. He is the one who's responsible for my conversion to libertarianism, and his son is, along the same lines as he is. There's some differences in their policies and their beliefs and whatnot, but for the most part, they line up pretty closely. But I think this is fantastic. I think this needs to be done. I think that filing this lawsuit sends a message. And what's even better is it's not just Rand Paul sending this message. On this news story is a link to randpac.com. That's RANDPAC.com, where you and I can fill out the information to join the class action lawsuit. That's right. We can get in on suing the federal government for violating our Fourth Amendment rights through the spying that the NSA has done on us for years. I'm all for that. I think this whole thing with the NSA is crazy. I understand that, a lot of people want this kind of government intrusion because they think that in some way this is going to keep them safer from terrorists. But let me tell you something. If it comes down to choosing freedom or safety, I'll take freedom. Because in that freedom, I will have the ability to have the means to defend myself from the terrorist. Okay, that's the way I think. You know, I want to be able to go and buy a gun and have a gun in my home. You know, I want that kind of a, thing. I want that amendment to stay in the Constitution. That's my right to protect my family from the government and from all the other crazies in the world. So I think that what this is doing is fantastic, and I think we need to join Rand Paul and sign up, be a part of that lawsuit, and let the government know, hey, we will not stand for this kind of spying, this violation of our Fourth Amendment that keeps us protected from these general searches. I mean, this is ridiculous. I just can't get over the overreach of the NSA. I think that we need to do something to limit the power of the NSA and just really pull that back, because they have gotten out of control. And what's even worse is you have a lot of technological companies like, Google and whatnot who are helping the NSA spy on us all, which is just retarded. Just stop it. I don't want you in my personal business. If I have done something wrong and you have some evidence that demonstrates I may be doing something wrong, and you get a search warrant, that's one thing. But this is warrantless searching. Okay, this is general warrants. This is just them spying so they can spy. Who knows how many of my phone conversations they have on record? I don't know. It's ridiculousness. I'm so glad that he's doing this and that there's action that we can take to get involved with that. Also, Julie Borowski, Token Libertarian Girl. I'm sure you guys know who that is. If not, check her out on YouTube, Token Libertarian Girl. She's fantastic. She also was my introduction into libertarianism. She's the one who introduced me to the Ron Paul books and all that stuff through her videos. Great resources. Their videos are funny. She's awesome. She had posted something on her Facebook yesterday about, I forget which organization it was, that is doing something to demonstrate displeasure with the NSA for their spying. I cannot remember what it is. Look her up on Facebook, Julie Borowski. I don't know. Good luck. You figure it out. She has the links and everything necessary to go to that. So that's has some other ways that we can get involved. Because there's a special day planned for having some advocacy against the NSA, so we can get involved and let them know how we feel about it. So yeah, that's awesome. I salute you, Rand Paul. I'm excited. Now, this piece of news is just ridiculous. House passes clean debt ceiling increase without conditions. Here are the 28 Republicans who voted for it. And here's the story. House Republicans backed away from a battle over the government's debt cap on Tuesday and permitted President Barack Obama's Democratic allies to drive quick passage of a measure to increase the government's borrowing cap without any concessions from the White House. The 221 to 201 vote came hours after Speaker John Boehner announced that his fractured party would relent. See, this is why I no longer want to be considered a conservative or a Republican. Guys like John Boehner who have no freaking backbone to stand up against the bullies from the left. It's just ridiculous. I mean, he is a typical politician. Most of the Republicans we have in office right now, they need to have themselves kicked out. All right? Well, not have themselves. We need to kick them out. And we do that by primarying these suckers and electing people who actually hold to our values. And if there's nobody running who holds to our values, maybe that's an indication we need to run. Just a thought, fellas and ladies. Yeah, I just totally can't stand John Boehner. He has no backbone. He's a big faker. He's just, I don't know. He's a typical politician. And not to mention, I live in his district in Ohio. This guy has been in office since I was like 5 years old. It's time for this dude to go. And there is someone in my area running against him in the primary, J.D. Winteregg. You can go to jdwinteregg.com and find out all you need to know about JD. I don't know if he's exactly a libertarian, but he's pretty darn close, especially in his economic policies. So I'm voting for him. I want rid of this dude. I know JD personally. He's a good dude. So maybe at some point I'll have him on the show. That'd be fantastic. So anyway, that's what I got there for that. Just 28 Republicans voted for the measure, including Boehner. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to go there. Well, but I want to go there. I really want to go there, but I won't go there. The move risks more displeasure from the Tea Party, but came after most Republicans in the House made clear they had no taste for another high-stakes fight with President Barack Obama over the nation's debt ceiling, which must be raised so the government can borrow money to pay all of its bills. Here's a thought, fellas. Here's a thought. Okay? How about instead of doing what I did? Okay, these guys are doing exactly what I did, which is taking out loans to pay your bills and then taking out loans to pay off the loans to pay your bills, and this cycle continues. Here's how Austrian economics would handle this situation. First off, they would acknowledge the government is the reason why we're in debt in the first place. There is absolutely no reason to be this far in debt, but we waste money like crazy on the stupidest crap that you could imagine on planet Earth. Like science experiments to find out the effect of methane from cow farts, or to find out why gay men like to have sexual intercourse with each other. Neither one of which I really care about. It's not my business. I don't care. I don't want to know. Okay? So that's some of the stuff that they're spending our money on. That's just some of it. I mean, it's just massive waste. Instead of, first off, like I said, Austrian economics would identify that this waste is part of the problem, and that the government intervention into the economy is part of the problem. And then to go a little bit further, Austrian economics thinks that the way to fix this problem is to cut taxes, cut spending, and apply money toward paying off your debt. Now, that seems like common sense to me. If I'm in credit card debt, I can't borrow more money to get out of debt. It doesn't make sense. Common sense says I need to look at my budget, see where I can make cuts, take that extra money and apply it toward my debt and get out of the hole. It's just common sense. You don't have to be a genius to understand these economic principles. Apparently our government is full of morons. That's all it takes. We should not have to be borrowing money to pay bills. The reason that we have to borrow money to pay the bills is because we're spending more than what we bring in. Now, in a personal application of that, if a person is spending more than what they bring in, the logical step is to sit down, take a look at what you're spending and what you're spending it on and say, okay, is that a necessity? No? Cut it. That saves you $10 right there. That eating out 2 times a week at McDonald's, that saves you $20 each right there. Slash it out. That's $40. You get my point. Why isn't the government applying those same principles to themselves? It doesn't make sense. The bill would permit the Treasury Department to borrow normally for another 13 months, diffusing the chance of a debt crisis well past the November elections, providing time for a newly elected Congress to decide how to handle the issue. See, we have got a prime opportunity in November to get rid of these schmucks and get true liberty-minded people in office who will actually uphold free market principles and really look at how we can handle this from a practical standpoint instead of doing all this stupid, instead of doing all the stupid crap we're doing here. Okay, we've got a prime opportunity, but listen, that means that you have to stop voting for the same idiots. Stop voting for the lesser of two evils. That's not working. We're not getting the lesser of two evils. We're getting the same exact person, just with a different letter next to their name. Enough is enough. People like Boehner who are being primaried, get rid of Boehner. Lifetime politicians, get rid of these people. Elect people who are solid in their free market principles, who actually believe in this stuff. Let's get those people in there, and then let's see what we can do to truly fix this situation. Now, getting new people in doesn't necessarily guarantee that this problem will be solved. There's just a lot involved, but it'll be a good first step. Got to do something. Let's take a look at all the people who voted for this here real quick. Wow, they got the whole list. You know what? On second thought, that is just way too many people to read through. But there's a lot. I just can't believe it, man. This stuff is just getting ridiculous. I just want less government, man. I really do. I really, really do. Now, how about we look at some Obamacare news? Because everybody loves Obamacare. Everybody got time for that. Everybody got time for Obamacare. I love that lady in that video. That was so funny. Ain't nobody got time for that. That was hilarious. It takes all kinds of people to make the world go around, man. If you can't laugh at yourself a little bit, what's the point? Okay, Obamacare news. This is just nuts. Planet Fitness cites Obamacare for tax on gym memberships. Breitbart.com. You guys got to check that website out if you don't already. Great news. Great resource. That's where I'm getting this news story from. It says, yesterday afternoon, I followed my Sunday workout routine and went to Planet Fitness, only to be surprised by a sign placed on the front desk. The sign read, "Attention members, holders of Black Card memberships will be required to pay a tax on these memberships starting January 1st, 2014, as required by the implementation of the Affordable Health Care Act. This is not a change in your membership fee, but rather a tax required by the government." Isn't that awesome? You are now getting taxed to try to live healthy. You are now getting taxed to try and be healthy so that you don't have to be a burden on your insurance company or the government. So you are trying to be independent and care for yourself, and yet you are being taxed for it. You are being punished for trying to do what is good for yourself. Sounds like the government. Black Card members at Planet Fitness are now subject to a tax under Obamacare, according to the memo. The Black Card membership comes with many amenities, such as access to every Planet Fitness location nationwide, unlimited tanning and massage chairs, and a few other perks. After speaking with a staff member, I asked if the new 5-cent per month tax was because of the unlimited tanning amenity. The employee answered yes. When the Affordable Care Act's tanning tax, I can't believe there's a tanning tax in this thing. A tanning tax? We're taxing people for tanning? This is what happens when you pass legislation without reading it. You thought, it's like every day something comes out about Obamacare that just makes you go, ugh. You just when you think like, well, it can't get any worse. Boom. It got worse. I can't believe it. When the Affordable Care Act's tanning tax was implemented in 2012, tanning salons were outraged that their small businesses were facing such a tax, and they should be. In June of 2013, the IRS finalized the so-called tanning tax and exempted fitness centers who had tanning beds because their business was not entirely tanning. Why then are fitness centers and gyms such as Planet Fitness collecting this tax if in fact they are exempt according to the IRS? The fitness center's Black Card members can certainly see the irony in being forced to pay a tax for living a healthy lifestyle, whatever the logic behind it turns out to be. While 5 cents a month may not seem like a large amount, the extra charge still seems to violate the principle of the law behind it. Obamacare was sold to the American people as a program that would improve health care for everyone, but yet there have been millions of canceled policies, 2.3 million full-time jobs lost, and skyrocketing premiums for the young and healthy. Clearly, it makes little sense to tax those who have all-inclusive gym memberships and try to maintain physical fitness. Okay, let's look at this. Millions of canceled policies. I thought that this dude said, no, that's not going to happen. Well, it's happening. 2.3 million full-time jobs lost. I thought the president was into the idea of creating jobs, which the government can't do anyway. Only you and I can build businesses and establish companies that will grow in their marketplaces and enable us to hire people who are looking for work, who have skills that we need. The government can't do that. But instead of creating jobs or finding a way to, limit government intrusion, decentralize a lot of the regulations here that prevent people from starting businesses so that the average Joe can actually build his business and hire people. No. You do this. You get involved in healthcare, and now 2.3 million jobs have been lost. And premiums for young and healthy people going up. What? I mean, for somebody like me who's self-employed, insurance is incredibly expensive. And this is making it worse. Obamacare is a huge problem. The government should never be involved in anything that could be solved by the free market. Okay? Government's role is to protect our liberties. Mostly what we need our liberties protected from is the government. That's why the Constitution is put in place. I'm a constitutionalist. As long as the federal government sticks rigidly to the Constitution, to the powers outlined in the Constitution, and leave everything else to the states, I'm a happy man. And I think everyone else would be happier too. The free market system would fix all the corruption that goes on with insurance companies. And there are a lot of them who are corrupt and doing bad things. We could fix that if the federal government would get the heck out of the way and let the market correct itself. It would. Frustrating. So if you wanted more reasons to hate Obamacare, there's one more for you. Gym memberships being taxed. Have fun with that one, kids. My last news story here that I want to cover before calling it a day is the most terrifying one of all. All right, this is truly frightening. Book Hillary to run for president in 2016. That's gonna give me nightmares. Oh, don't let the bad man, don't let the bad woman get in my bedroom, mommy. Don't let it. Yeah, I mean, it scares the crap out of me. You think of Hillary Clinton as president. Listen to this. A new book affirms that Hillary Clinton is indeed running for president in 2016. According to emails exchanged between Lydia Black and Adam Parka-Homeniko. Wow, I butchered that one. Veterans of Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign, they discussed launching a 2016 Ready for Hillary Super PAC months before the former First Lady and Secretary of State left the State Department. Moreover, according to HRC, published on Tuesday, a couple of months after Clinton resigned from her job at the State Department, longtime Hillary advisor Cheryl Mills and Guy Cecil, executive director of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, with an eye on running her 2016 campaign, met to discuss Hillary's run for office. Look, I'm not even going to read the rest of this. Let's just talk about it. Hillary Clinton would be like having Obama back in office. Politically, they're basically the same. But what makes this even worse is that Hillary completely botched the whole Benghazi thing. And then covered it up, along with Obama and everybody else. So, why in the world would we want someone like that in the highest office in the land? I'm all for a woman president. I will support a woman running for president any day of the week who stands truly for free market principles, for maximum personal freedom, and limited government. Absolutely will vote for a woman president. And I think we will have a woman president. I'd vote for a Hispanic president, a candidate who wanted to be president who held those beliefs. I'd vote for an Asian. I don't care what you look like. It's not about color. It's about principle. Do you believe in the principles of freedom that made this country great? The same principles that are enabling a schmuck like me to go from poverty to success by working hard and providing value to people through products and services. Will you stick up for me? Will you help me? Will you deregulate the government and get the government out of my way so that I can live my life, raise my kids the way that I want them to be raised, to impart to them the values that I deem to be important? Will you help me get the government out of my way so I can be a success? So that I can be free to share my faith. So that I can be free to help others. Will you get the government out of my way? I'll vote for you. I don't care what color you are. I don't care about, religion and all of that. I stand for those principles. I'll be behind you. We cannot have someone like Hillary Clinton in the presidential office. We just can't do it. This woman, her lies about Benghazi, the whole Benghazi situation where we basically caused those people to get killed, where we did nothing to rescue those people in that situation from those nutbag terrorists, and how we nothing has been done to fix the situation, And now these families suffer the loss of their loved ones and get no justice in return. And no, she should not be president. She shouldn't even be thinking about running. It's a shame. It's disgraceful that she would even think about running, to even consider it. It's maddening. It shouldn't be allowed to be done. We need to speak up and say, no, we're not going to vote for somebody like that. I hope that by the time it's said and done, she decides not to run. But chances are she will. I don't know. It saddens me. It saddens me that people would even support that. And I know, I've seen the bumper stickers already on the backs of people's car because people are stupid. I don't know. Well, guys, that wraps up the news portion for today. We got a lot of stuff going on. There is a lot of work to be done if we want to rescue this country and get it back to its roots. Maximum freedom. That's what I want. That's what we need. Maximum freedom. That means we all need to get involved. We need to start supporting candidates who actually stand up for freedom, who believe in free market principles. Not more Republicans, not more Democrats. True liberty-loving people, and they are out there. Perhaps one of you is listening to this radio broadcast, this podcast here. Maybe you're thinking about running yourself. If you believe in those principles, then do it. If you don't feel like running, find a candidate who does and volunteer. Help that person get this office. We've got to all do our part. More liberty means more personal responsibility. We all have to start taking responsibility for ourselves, our families, and that also means we have to start serving one another. We have to start helping. Everybody's got to do their share or else this isn't going to work. We're never going to get this country back to where it should be. All right, guys, I had a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed the first podcast. I'll be back on Friday to do another round. Let's keep it going. Let's grow. Let's continue down this walk, of libertarianism. Let's share this walk together. Let's grow. Let's do it. All right, guys. I'll see you all Friday. Have a great week. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants.